What if I told you that one of the most powerful success books ever written is also one of the most misunderstood? Think and Grow Rich is quoted everywhere, yet very few people actually apply its deepest lessons. Most readers focus on money, but miss the mindset that creates it. They read, feel motivated for a moment, then return to the same habits, the same fears, the same results. In this video, we're going beyond the obvious. We'll uncover the hidden lessons most people ignore and why they are the real reasons some succeed while others don't. Watch until the end, because the final lesson can completely change how you think about success. 1. Desire is not just wanting. To understand Napoleon Hill's concept of desire, one must first distinguish it from the common everyday wish. Most people walk through life with a vague list of preferences. They wish they had more money, they wish they were in better shape, or they wish they had a more fulfilling career. However, Hill argues that these are merely wavering wishes that carry no transformative power. In the context of Think and Grow Rich, desire is an obsessive, pulsating force that occupies the mind so completely that it becomes a burning desire. It is the difference between a candle flame and a forest fire. While a candle provides a small amount of light, a forest fire consumes everything in its path, converting obstacles into fuel for its own expansion. When you possess this level of desire, the word impossible loses its meaning because the mind is no longer looking for reasons to quit. It is exclusively seeking pathways to the objective. The psychological mechanism behind this obsession is rooted in the emotionalization of a goal. Hill posits that the subconscious mind does not respond well to cold logic or dry numbers. It responds to heat. When a person attaches deep, visceral meaning to their goal, perhaps the desire to provide a legacy for their family, to prove their worth, or to change the world, they tap into a reservoir of energy that transcends physical fatigue. This is why many of the most successful figures in history were not necessarily the most talented, but they were certainly the most obsessed. They lived, breathed, and slept their vision. This obsession creates a mental magnetism that begins to attract the people, resources, and opportunities required to bring the vision into physical reality. Without this intensity, the first sign of hardship acts as an off-ramp, allowing the individual to retreat into the comfort of mediocrity. Hill provides a specific 6-step practical formula to transmute this mental desire into its physical equivalent. It begins with definiteness of purpose. You cannot simply desire success. You must fix in your mind the exact amount of money or the specific achievement you seek. You must then determine exactly what you intend to give in return for this success, as there is no such thing as something for nothing. You establish a definite date, create a definite plan, and, most importantly, write it all down. By reading this statement aloud twice daily, you are performing a ritual of psychological indoctrination. You are convincing your subconscious that the goal is already a reality. This process bridges the gap between the conscious wanting and the subconscious being, ensuring that your internal identity aligns with your external ambitions. 2. Faith is built, not wished for. Faith, in the Hillian sense, is often misunderstood as a religious or mystical state. But in Think and Grow Rich, it is described as a state of mind which may be induced or created by affirmation or repeated instructions to the subconscious mind. It is a form of self-directed neuroplasticity. Most people treat faith as a fluctuating emotion, something they have on good days and lose on bad days. Hill argues that functional faith is a steady, unwavering confidence that is intentionally constructed through discipline. It is the head chemist of the mind. When faith is blended with the vibration of thought, the subconscious mind instantly picks up the vibration, translates it into its spiritual equivalent, and transmits it to infinite intelligence. It is the only known antidote to failure. It allows an individual to view temporary defeat not as a permanent wall, but as a necessary redirection. The construction of faith requires a deliberate battle against the 6 basic fears that haunt the human psyche: the fear of poverty, criticism, ill health, loss of love, old age, and death. These fears act as negative faith. Just as positive faith creates a reality of abundance, negative faith, fear, creates a reality of lack. To build the positive version, one must engage in the practice of autosuggestion, the act of feeding the mind with thoughts of courage and victory. However, Hill is clear that words alone are empty. Faith grows through the repetition of affirmation combined with action. Every time you take a step toward your goal despite being afraid, you provide your subconscious with evidence of your capability. This evidence-based belief is far more powerful than blind optimism because it is rooted in the reality of your own persistence. Furthermore, faith is the gateway to the intuitive mind. When a person operates from a state of total belief, they become sensitive to hunches and flashes of inspiration that others miss. This is because the mind is no longer cluttered with the static of doubt. Think of faith as a radio receiver tuned to a specific frequency. If the receiver is tuned to Doubt FM, it will only hear reasons why a plan will fail. If it is tuned to Faith AM, it begins to pick up the subtle signals of opportunity. This is why Hill insists that faith is the only agency through which the infinite intelligence can be harnessed. It is not a passive waiting for a miracle. It is an active, aggressive state of expectation that prepares the individual to recognize and seize the miracle when it arrives. 3. The power of autosuggestion. Autosuggestion is the bridge between the conscious mind, where our deliberate thoughts reside, and the subconscious mind, which acts as the engine room of our behavior. Hill describes the subconscious as a fertile garden. If you do not intentionally plant the seeds of success, the weeds of failure will grow by default. The environment, the media, and the opinions of others are constantly throwing seeds into your mental garden. Most people are passive observers of their own mental programming, allowing negativity to take root without a fight. Autosuggestion is the process of becoming a master gardener. It is the act of consciously deciding which thoughts are allowed to stay and which must be uprooted. By repeatedly feeding the mind specific positive commands, you eventually bypass the critical faculty of the conscious mind and reach the deeper layers where habits are formed. To make autosuggestion effective, Hill emphasizes the use of emotion and sensory detail. Simply repeating the phrase, "I am wealthy," while feeling poor and desperate will only create internal conflict. The subconscious is not fooled by words alone. It responds to the feeling behind the words. This is why Hill suggests that when you read your written statement of desire, you must close your eyes and see and feel yourself already in possession of the money or the goal. You must engage the creative imagination to make the mental image as vivid as possible. The goal is to create a synthetic experience for the brain. Since the subconscious cannot distinguish between a real memory and an intensely imagined one, it begins to accept the imagined success as a current reality. Once this happens, your behavior shifts automatically to match the internal image. This principle explains why luck seems to follow certain people while avoiding others. A person who uses autosuggestion to program their mind for success becomes hyper-aware of opportunities that align with their goals. It's similar to when you buy a specific car and suddenly start seeing that car everywhere on the road. The cars were always there, but your brain was filtered to ignore them. Through autosuggestion, you are filtering your reality for success. You start to notice the right people, the right books, and the right timing. This isn't magic. It's the optimization of the human brain's reticular activating system, RAS. By giving the RAS a clear command, you turn your mind into a heat-seeking missile that stays locked on its target regardless of external conditions. 4. Persistence beats talent. The chapter on persistence is perhaps the most sobering in Think and Grow Rich because it addresses the great leveler. History is littered with brilliant, talented, and highly educated individuals who ultimately failed because they lacked the staying power to endure the valleys of the journey. Hill states that persistence is to the character of man what carbon is to steel. It is the quality that makes one unbreakable. Most people are good starters but poor finishers. They are energized by the novelty of a new idea, but when the honeymoon phase ends and the reality of hard work and criticism sets in, they fold. Persistence is the ability to maintain the same level of intensity and commitment on day 500 as you had on day 1, despite a total lack of visible results. Hill identifies 4 essential steps to developing persistence: a definite purpose backed by burning desire, a definite plan expressed in continuous action, a mind closed tightly against all negative and discouraging influences, and a friendly alliance with one or more persons who will encourage one to follow through with both plan and purpose. Without these 4 pillars, persistence is merely stubbornness without a goal. The key is to understand that failure is rarely a final destination. It is usually a temporary defeat that carries with it the seed of an equivalent benefit. The persistent mind looks at a setback and asks, "What is the lesson here?" While the non-persistent mind asks, "Why does this always happen to me?" This shift in perspective is what allows a person to stand up one more time than they are knocked down. Furthermore, persistence is the only way to develop mastery. The subconscious mind requires time and repetition to integrate new skills and beliefs. If you quit every time you hit a plateau, you never allow the compounding effect of your efforts to take hold. Hill notes that success often has a way of hiding just around the corner, waiting to see if the seeker has the fortitude to keep walking. He tells the story of 3 feet from gold, where a miner quit just short of a massive vein of ore because he became discouraged by a temporary lack of results. This story serves as a haunting reminder that we never truly know how close we are to our breakthrough. Persistence is the insurance policy that ensures we are still in the game when the gold finally appears. 5. The Mastermind Principle. The Mastermind Principle is Hill's X factor for exponential growth. He defines it as the coordination of knowledge and effort in a spirit of harmony between 2 or more people for the attainment of a definite purpose. Hill observed that no individual can have great power without the use of the mastermind. When 2 minds come together, a third, invisible, intangible force is created, a third mind that possesses the combined intelligence of both, plus something more. This is the concept of synergy. $1 plus 1 plus $11. By surrounding yourself with a group of people who are as committed to their goals as you are to yours, you gain access to a collective pool of wisdom, experience, and energy that would take a lifetime to accumulate on your own. There are 2 types of masterminds, the practical and the psychic. The practical mastermind provides specialized knowledge. You may have the vision, but you might lack the technical skills in marketing, finance, or operations. By bringing together experts in these fields, you create a composite personality that is capable of solving any problem. The psychic mastermind is more subtle. It is the vibrational influence of your peers. Humans are social animals, and we naturally adopt the habits, attitudes, and energy levels of those we spend the most time with. If you are the smartest or most ambitious person in your circle, you are in the wrong circle. A true mastermind group pushes you to think bigger, act faster, and hold yourself to a higher standard of excellence. The most critical element of a mastermind is harmony. If there is friction, ego, or competition within the group, the third mind is destroyed, and the group becomes a liability rather than an asset. This is why Hill emphasizes choosing members with care. They must share a common spirit and a mutual respect. When a group of people works in total harmony toward a singular goal, they tap into a power that Hill describes as godlike. It is this power that allowed Andrew Carnegie to build the steel industry and Henry Ford to revolutionize transportation. They weren't just individuals, they were the heads of massive mastermind alliances. By applying this principle, you move from manual labor to leverage, using the brains and efforts of others to multiply your impact on the world. Think and Grow Rich is not just a book about money, it's a manual for mental transformation. The lessons most people ignore are the very ones that create lasting success. Apply them, don't just admire them. If this message resonated with you, reflect on which lesson you've been neglecting and commit to changing it today. Remember, your success begins the moment you decide to think differently.